Alright YouTubes, how we doing? So this is our next job that we're doing. Bit of a classic. So Mercedes SL500. Car's in really good nick. This guy that owns this car, this is his daily driver. He's also got a 190E Cosworth left-hand drive that we resprayed for him about 4 or 5 years ago. Complete respray we done on that. He loves his Mercs, his old Mercs. That's what he uses as his daily cars. So this is in for rust on the wings, pretty common, but quite solid. But yeah, let me get the light. So yeah, rust on the wings, solid but quite crusty, like quite aggressive under there. Probably salvageable, this wing, with a bit of work and a bit of treatment, but the guy likes things to last, and again we can't guarantee rust without placing it. This one's a little bit worse. This is all on the lower part here. I've pulled a little bit away under there, so by the time that's all ground out, there's going to be hardly any metal left. Not getting involved in trying to fabricate pieces into that. So we spoke to Mercedes, main dealer. They can still get wings for these. So he's ordered 2 new wings for this. So we've got 2 new wings to put on, paint and fit. And the new wings, we're gonna spray seal the insides, paint them on the insides as well to try and future-proof it for him. He's had sort of stuff done in the past. He's had all underside undersealed and stuff. So it's pretty solid car. And then also we've got rust on the bottoms of these doors under here, where the rubber is, which at the moment we haven't seen how bad it is yet. Looks quite a little bit nasty under there, so we're just going to strip the doors at the moment. The other side's pretty similar. Don't normally get involved with rust because it's just a pain, but if we do it, we try to do the best we can with it. This one's not too bad. There's like loads of wax all on it. It's quite bad up there, but he's got new rubbers coming, so he's got new rubbers. We're going to rip them rubbers out. We've had a quick look inside this door, so we've stripped this door, and apart from a load of crap, and it looks like some old sound deadening pad in there, they look quite solid. So we're going to strip these doors, get the rubbers off. We're going to get these outer trims off as well, check all the bottoms, and then we're going to decide whether we think they're savable. You know, we want to try and save them, but we want them to last a while as well. We don't want to just, you know, we can cobble up any old bits of rust and it'll look okay at the time, but we want to try and put a bit of time on them lasting. So you can get new doors for these still. Mercedes said they can get them from Germany, and he probably would, if they were really bad, he would go for new doors on these. But the price of them, they just put heritage tax on any old stock, you know, new old stock. They were about £1,800 each, new doors for this car. So yeah, we want to try and avoid that for him if we can. I think he would if they were really bad and they weren't savable. But yeah, we'll see what we can do. We'll get them all stripped now anyway. See where we're at with them. If we think we can save them and get them to last for a while. I said even if we get to the point where they last a while and look at it as a bit of a service item, that if you get a couple of years out of them before they start blistering again, and then we could, you know, do them again, still be cheaper than the new doors, I think. So yeah, it's about £6.5 grand for 2 new wings and 2 new doors. Car's probably borderline worth that. So, but yeah, we'll see what we can do with these doors anyway. So yeah, paint wise, we're going to be painting obviously the 2 new wings. Hopefully we can get the colour okay to the bonnet, and then painting the doors and blending into the quarter, so it'll be both sides on this. But it's a little bit different for us. Sometimes I quite enjoy working on the old stuff. It just makes a change. But, yeah, we'll see where we're at with the doors and then go from there. Right, so I'm going to start some work on this, on the bottoms of the doors on this SL 500. Yeah, the passenger door's quite bad really. It's not great. So Reece has already started it. Started wire wheeling all the bottoms. Yeah, it's quite bad. All this lip's broken away, and it goes all the way along here. And then there's a bit on the outside, a bit scabby. It's quite solid, and then there's a piece up here as well. Yeah, like I said, the doors are £1,800 odd plus the VAT each. So it probably would go for a door on this side. But, I said to him, look, let's just see what we can do with it. All I'm going to do is I'm not very confident at welding. I can do some panel beating and stuff, but you know, I'm not confident in welding, and I'm not sure trying to cut this out and make this lip. If you cut this out, you know, it's part of the outer skin here. What would happen there? Like I say, I'm not very confident at welding. I'm just a humble painter. Do you like that? So yeah, I'm just gonna clean it all up as best I can, get some treatment on there, and I'm gonna see if I can just make a little bit of a lip with some fiberglass, because the rubber sits in there and it's quite squishy, the rubber. So yeah, like I was saying before, I got rudely interrupted by a customer. How dare they ring me on a Saturday? But so yeah, I'm gonna do what they call in the trade is I'm just gonna cobble it up. But I'm gonna do a decent cobble on it as best I can. I'm just gonna see if I can make a bit of a lip with some fiberglass here. So yeah, I'll get it all cleaned up as best I can, and then get some treatment on there, and then try and make a little bit of a lip with some fiberglass. And then yeah, then I'll epoxy it, and then I'm going to do spray sealer. I'm going to do it on both doors anyway. I'm going to do not too heavy, but I'm going to do a spray sealer all across this bottom from here to here. Try and make it look neat. A lot of it's not visible, and but he said, you know, that all the time when it rains, this just traps water, and he said this, like the sill steps are just wet all the time. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do, and we'll see how long it lasts. Like I said to him, you know, if it come back, start blistering in a couple of years, maybe we could just clean it up again and reapply some more coatings and that, and just try and keep it at bay as best we can. Like I say, I know people that might be able to do some welding on this for me, and to them it'd be quite simple, but to me it would take me forever and I'd probably mess it up. So I'm not going down that route. I can tack the odd little simple plate in here and there, and maybe, you know, put a new panel on, but yeah, I'm not confident in doing it, so that's why I don't do it. I just stick to what I know I can do to my best ability, so that's what I stick to. So yeah, I'm just gonna get all this, start cleaning all this up, and then yeah, get it sort of prepped, and then get some treatment on there, and then try and make a bit of a lip. It's the rubber's quite it's quite solid. See, it doesn't move. It's just the lip. It's a thin little lip. There's probably hardly any paint. They'd obviously put wax oil in there, Yeah, if I can make a bit of a lip, the rubber, it's quite squishy, so it, you know, I should be able to get that rubber back in there. If I do a little bit of fiberglass work. And yeah, the other side's not too bad, so most of the metal's still there on the other side. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'll get my goggles on and get grinding. I think you get the gist of what I'm doing, so I'm going to stop recording it. Man, I hate rust. Don't know why I take it on. Is what it is. I started off positive, didn't I? And I've only been grinding it for 10 minutes. And I'm beat already. I hate it. I just hate rust. But it's what it is. It'll turn out alright in the end. And he's a good customer and he's a good bloke, so... I don't want to. If I said to him put a new door on it, he probably would, but I just think it's ridiculous the money for them. They just put heritage tax on it, and it could sit there for another 10 years probably. The door that, you know, the doors they might have in stock, but yeah, it's wrong really, isn't it? You know, that it's something they're not going to sell a lot of, so why price it at that ridiculous price? But my camera's getting covered in crap, so yeah, I'm going to carry on, and once I get to the next stage I'll start recording that. Whew. So I've cleaned that the best I can. Wire wheels, purple roll up wheel, grinder, discs. It's not too bad. I know, like, I mean, it's spotted, so this is the outer skin. Someone could make this piece, but I know someone that could. I know a couple of people that could, but it's just going to delay a load of things. I need to get this job done, especially before Christmas. So I don't know, I should take the door off really, but we've stripped so much, I can't bear the thought of anything else being took off of it at the moment. Obviously everything's done to a budget, isn't it? So I'm just going to brush a load of treatment on this now. I'll try and make that shape up a little bit with a bit of fiberglass, and then yeah, epoxy it and spray seal it. And that should last. I reckon it should last, but we'll see. Who knows with rust. this is where we're at now with the Mercedes SL 500. So I've done the bottoms of the doors. I didn't film any more footage because the rust got to me a little bit. But yeah, they've come out okay. So let me get a light actually. So I ground off all the bottom lip at the bottom of the door and wire wheeled it and cleaned it out, all the pitting, and it was pretty solid, to be fair. It was all right. There's a couple of little crusty bits that broke off on the lip where the rubber tucks into it, but it was pretty solid, and I put a little bit of fiberglass in there just to dress it up a little bit, and then epoxy primed it, and then put spray sealer over it. It's not factory, but he wants protection and he wants it to try and last, and it was the best solution I could do really, without either getting some fabrication done on the doors, getting them taken off and taking them off and getting some fabrication done on them, and it just delayed everything. So I think they'll last, but yeah, I'll show you what I've done, what it looks like. I don't think it looks too bad. I've gone to try and make it look OE, this sort of lip. I kept all the spray sealer out of there where the rubber sits, and when the rubber goes on there you don't really see this lip much, you might see just the bottom edge of it. But I think it's come out okay. And then yeah, and then once I spray sealed it, obviously base coat and lacquered it, and it's tidied it up, and it should hold back. And then we've tried all the rubbers in, and yeah, it's okay. This was the worst bit on this, but sort of, yeah, you don't really see it anyway. So all that's done now, and yeah, it should be okay, it should last. Spray sealer's pretty good stuff as well. And yeah, we'll wax oil it as well, sort of in that gutter rail, we'll wax oil in there as well before the rubber goes in. So that's that. So now I've got that horrible bit of the job out of the way. It's all stripped now, and I can start preparing it. So we've took the hard top off. That was quite simple really. Once you knew the procedure, really clever. Where it's an original piece and it's got a soft top as well. We found a YouTube video, a load of YouTube videos from about 16 years ago with loads of procedures and things you can do like for stripping on this car. So yeah, we followed that, and yeah, popped the hard top off, and then yeah, we've cleaned it all down. So we've got, obviously, like I said, we're putting 2 new wings on this. So these doors, there's a bit of rust here that I've wheeled out and ground out as much as I can, put some treatment on it. Again, I'm going to do just a bit of spray seal on this. This actually had filler in it, so it's obviously had a little bit of a knock and someone's filled it, even though it's all covered, and that's what's caused this outer to rust a bit, I think, from the damage, because the other side's clean as a whistle. So we're going to it's got filler and stuff in this door, so I'm going to block through the doors with 320 and then machine them off with 500, and then we're going to blend into these quarters, and then blend these pillars as well. The colour again is not great. Got a couple of colour chips for it, and there's a handful of other shades on the system, but everything looks too blue. This is a bit of a mismatch, this car, colour wise. It's been resprayed, this car, definite. So our colour chip actually matches the door shut quite well. So what I've done is recalculated the standard formula. So yeah, what I've done is spectroed it. I tried a scan across the system where It said it was close colour wise, so I sprayed that out, and that's what I used on the bottoms of the doors. But the metallic don't look right on it. The shade doesn't look too bad. So from that Spectro image, it pointed me towards being a standard shade colour wise under this colour code. So the standard shade on the colour chip does look too blue, so I've recalculated it, and it looks a lot closer now, and the ingredients look right for the metallic, quite a fine metallic in this. So that's what we're going to do. That's the shape we're going to do. So I'm going to get all set up, it's all cleaned, get set up, and start preparing it. So we've got the wings prepared for spraying now for the SL500. So I'm going to put some spray sealer on the arch, on the lip, and in the areas where it's prone to where it's prone to rust. So where the originals started rusting. So I've masked them up. So what I've done is I've done a soft edge on here. So I'm going to do a bit of a finer texture spray sealer across this lip. If I sort of direct it that way, it should sort of feather in on this, because I don't really want any of it to show on the outer part of this lip here. So I'll go right the way round on both wings there, and then on the inside, I mean, the originals they've got sort of brush, they have got quite a thick brush sealer on the back edge of this, but it still didn't stop it rusting. They've probably done well with the sealer because it is pretty decent on the inner, but then all that lip's crusty on the original, so they probably never put enough paint on there. But it has got a bit of texture on there actually. So yeah, I'll do the spray sealer, then I'll try and load it a bit in that channel in there. I'll do a bit across here. I'm not going to spray seal all of this, but I am going to paint it, so it's going to have wet and wet, base coat and clear coat on the inside. And then I'm going to do it in this area here as well, but I'm not going to do it on the outside of it. A big gap between the wing and the bumper, so it won't look right if you can see, you know, spray sealer, the texture sticking out from the side. If you can see that underneath, it's going to ruin obviously that line of the wing there to the bumper. So yeah, it would have been nice to put some on there, because that's where this area here is where it rusted the most, to be honest. And it rusted in this corner bad on both of them. It's like from inside out, so it's rusted all the way through on the originals. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do, and try and make it look neat, and try and protect it for as long as possible. So the Mercedes SL500's all masked up now and ready to spray. So it's all prepped and masked. It's all been cleaned down. Wings are ready, they're all prepped. The spray sealer's all in there. Spray sealer on the lip. Same with that one, and the same on this side. So, first thing I'm going to do is obviously I'm going to wet these wings. So at the same time I'll wet these wings and get a coat of a blender coat over the rest of it. And then once the overspray is cleared, I normally put it on with wet and wet, I put it on like a 15-minute bake at 45 degrees. And while that's cooling off and baking for a little while, I'll mix the colour up. So I'll get in the mixing room now, mix up some wet and wet, and crack on. So the wet and wet I'm using is Mipa F37, and they do it in light grey and dark grey, so you can sort of mix them together to get the desired grey that you want. I'm not sure if they do a white one. They might do a white one. I'm not sure. It's newish, I think. This product is a wet and wet. You can use the Mipa 4+1 as a wet and wet as well. It's okay, the 4+1. The F37's got some better adhesion properties to it. It's got better adhesion properties in it, where they say it will stick to E-coat, to electrocoat, without keying it, but we always sand it because the E-coats are quite rough on a lot of panels. So yeah, it's not, but it's okay for like insides and edges. If you don't want to key them, it's supposed to be okay for that. So I just mix it on the system on the computer, and I do over thin it slightly. I sort of had to play about with it when I first started using it, because I was getting a bit of dye back and it was drawing in a bit, and I just couldn't get it on there smooth. And I think what I was doing is I was trying to put it on, how should we say, like too thin, so I was restricting the flow on my wet and wet gun. Well, to be fair, the first few times I was trying out different guns, and that's why I bought a designated wet and wet gun. So I bought a 1500 BRP with a 1.4 in it. But yeah, what was probably happening is I wasn't putting enough on there, so it was going on there a bit dry. So after playing about with it for a while on a few jobs, it wasn't horrendous, but it required me to flatten polish it a little bit to get the gloss back up on the clear coat. So what I found now is just to go full bore with it, full fluid, full fan, full pressure, and just bang a wet coat on there. Put a nice wet coat on there, sort of heavy-ish I suppose, but a nice wet coat on there, and when it dries out it's nice and smooth then. But essential to get the wet and wet on there good, to have a good wet and wet, a designated wet and wet primer as well, not one that's sort of multi-purpose where you can use it as a high build as well. They're okay, but really designated wet and wets are definitely best, because it's quite critical to get that right, the wet and wet, because it influences all the other coatings after that. So yeah, yes, it's essential really to get that right. And you don't want to be nibbing it neither really. You're better off sort of, if you do get any bits in it, I find to put a coat of base coat on it first and then nib it, because it's sort of where it has to stay open for bonding of other paints going on top of it. It never nibs quite well. It never nibs quite well. It ends up scoring a little bit sometimes, even with fine grit. So, if you do get any nibs in it and stuff, put a coat of base coat on it first and then nib it. It's definitely better. So yeah, I'll get that mixed, get the blender in the gun as well, and get that all on in one go, and then I can start mixing the colour. Right, that's the Mercedes SL500 all finished, all fitted up. Didn't really do any footage of the strip and fitting. It's hard to fit every process in, you know, when there's quite a few hours involved in one of the processes. Yeah, I'm not sure what to fit in some of it, especially on the larger jobs, but so anyway, yeah, this is it all finished anyway. It's all come out okay, it all fitted back together nice putting original parts back on a car, and all the finish and the colour went well in the end. Colour's pretty decent to the bonnets. This car has had a respray, so we did have to reformulate the colour, but I think it's pretty decent. It's not 100%, but it's pretty close to that bonnet. And yeah, the finish come out okay. Looks okay, and all the blend went fine into the quarter panel. And we give it a little polish. There wasn't a great deal of dirt in the paint to nib, so we've done a few little nibs and polished it. Give it a quick polish, and we polished over the adjacent panels. Well, polished the rest of the car really. Cleaned it up, but yeah, it all come out okay. I think the spray sealer looks pretty decent on the wheel arch, and hopefully this will preserve this now, and you shouldn't have any issues with it rusting again on these areas. The back arches are good, all the underside of the car's good, and yeah, we've left this door card off. Just going to his mechanic now to have a new window regulator mechanism put in there. And I don't think the bottom of the door looks too out the way. You can't really see it anyway now all the rubber's in, but it's addressed that rust, I think. And we've stuck this little rubber back on, managed to bond that back on with some more double-sided tape. And even though that's not an original finish under there with that spray sealer, I don't think it looks out of place. I think it looks quite tidy. And I've sent the guy pictures, and he was happy with that finish on there. I think it was a good solution to try and keep that rust at bay without doing any fabrication work or obviously replacing the doors. Like I say, the guy does want longevity out of the repairs, so we've done the best we could. The metal was pretty decent once we got all the scabby rust out of the way. It was pretty solid, and it was just in areas, so it wasn't completely rotten all the way down, just parts of the lip, and it still holds the lip, the rubber nice and tight. And that bit which was the worst area, with a bit of fiberglass in there, and then treatment on it and fiberglass, and then epoxy and spray sealer. I think it should stay at bay, but it is a prone area. Oh look, there's a bit of tape there. Good job I put the camera in here. Yeah, so I think all in all it come out well. So yeah, all went back together nice, and that's another job finished. So again, thanks everybody for watching, and hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.